This is the Alex Jones Show. Call Alex now, toll free, at 877-590-5525. Now live from Austin, Texas, here's Alex Jones.
Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. It is the 22nd day of March 2009. We've got 2 hours laid out here before us. I want everybody within the sound of my voice, especially conservatively tens of thousands of people on different AM and FM stations or the internet tuning in for the first time, listen to me very, very carefully. You are being robbed. Criminals have hijacked the government. They have decided to bankrupt everything so they can consolidate all of the wealth in this country criminally. And the elite knows that the working class cannot tell the difference between middle class and elite, and so the elite is sicking the working class on the middle class, the historical enemy of the ultra-rich. Now listen to me very, very carefully. It is in government documents, think tank documents. I have written articles. We have made films. I have been covering it for 14 years, that the globalists plan to put a police state grid in control of the U.S. and then implode the economy. It is now happening by design. And there isn't time to screw around or sit on the fence about this anymore. In my stacks of news, a huge stack I'm going to analyze on the second banker bailout, the world currency openly being announced, and what all of this means. We will not be talking about the $165 million bonuses at AIG. That is nothing. That is the Congress's diversion and the president's diversion from the $9.7 trillion that AP and Bloomberg have reported that has disappeared. And I've got video clips. In fact, pull it up again. Senator Sanders grills Bernanke. And there's scores of these clips where they say, "Where is the trillions?" And they go, "We will not tell you." I got a clip of the former Fed chairman, Greenspan, private Fed head, on Lair NewsHour saying, "We're above all three branches of government. No one can question us." Well, you read the Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, Constitution, you know that's a fraud. But even if you haven't read that, anything that's above the law is called tyranny. So I've got that stack of news. Then I have a police state stack of news. About 2 weeks ago, we broke the news story on my weekday radio show about the MIAC report written by the feds and issued to the state police in Missouri. Subsequently, we've gotten state police reports out of Alabama, Texas, California, and others. CNN covered it night after night. Fox covered it. Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh covered it day after day. They never gave us any credit for breaking it. I received the secret report, and I got called a liar for a week. The governor of Missouri has come out and said it's real. I've had state reps on, it's real. It's now admitted. But I always take the heat because we're doing the real research here, and we come out with it first. Now, since then, they've made a lot of other announcements, including martial law for major U.S. cities. Mainstream news. You know, for really 12 years of my 14 on air, I've been warning people about the military training to confiscate guns, the police state, and people say, "Oh, you're just crying wolf, it hadn't happened." All I knew is I would go to urban warfare drills and witness Marines and Army training to confiscate our guns and saying it was for the U.S. And I said they could do this anytime. I don't know. This is scary. The bankers say they'll implode the economy first and then bring this in. And now we're here and it's happening. No, I was a man before my time. I knew what I was talking about. You know, we pushed into the national spotlight a month ago in Iowa. The Army, it was in the newspaper being quoted, a sergeant being quoted going, "Yeah, we're going to lock down the city and do mock gun confiscations door to door." People couldn't believe that report, and then it became mainstream. We don't make any of this up. Understand that. And I'm sorry this is scary. I'm freaked out by it, too. I live here. I have family. I have children. So I'm going to get into that. Also, CDC takes closer look at Gardasil and paralysis. This is from U.S. News and World Report, also have CBS News and Associated Press. Now, 2.5 years ago, during the trials of Gardasil, a large percentage of those that took it had paralysis or death. I was only reading their own trials on air, and I had doctors and people on, and people who'd been in the trials who died or who'd had family that had died or who had gotten sick. It's now mainstream news again. Exactly. You can Google Alex Jones Gardasil and pull up video interviews I did 2.5 years ago saying it causes paralysis. That's what it does. Okay? Now, it's now mainstream news again. This is what I do. This is what I research constantly, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day on top of being on the radio. Now, I'm done talking about our research. The point is, get ready for intensive news and information to be covered and your phone calls coming up. Now, here is the banking stack of news. I'm just going to read the headlines. Fed's planning 15-fold in U.S. monetary base. U.S. Federal Reserve announces massive increase in government debt. Now, this is Rolling Stone article that we got a link to up on Infowars.com. Finally, mainstream media is getting it right. The global economic crisis isn't about money, it's about power. How Wall Street insiders are using the bailout to stage a revolution. And they got it right in this detailed report. The bankers are bragging to stockholders. That even comes out in mainstream financial publications. They engineered the whole stinking thing. There is no aid coming. There is no cavalry coming. They want to hurt you. They're conquerors. They're ruthless. That's why they're in control. Stop being so sappy and so weak and so passive and so trusting. That is the Rolling Stone magazine. Here's another mainstream headline, the National Post, big paper in Canada. Is this the end of America? And it says, helicopter Ben Bernanke's Federal Reserve is dropping trillions of fresh paper dollars on the world economy. No, he isn't. He's dropping it into their own bank accounts. The President of the United States is cracking jokes on late-night comedy shows. His energy minister is threatening a trade war over carbon emissions. His Treasury Secretary is dithering over banking reform program and raising concerns over his competence. Oh, he's competent, all right. They're doing this on purpose. And monumental, dysfunctional U.S. Congress is launching another public jihad against corporations and bankers. Then they go in and talk about the implosion. Here's another one by Lou Rockwell. Robbery writ monumental. What it means when they monetize the debt. The government's buying its own debt now. The world isn't. That means wheelbarrows like Weimar Republic. Or what's happening in Zimbabwe right now. $1 trillion notes. Here's another one from AP. 13 companies getting bailout money owe back taxes. Yeah, their CEOs just don't pay their taxes. Now, here's one out of the London Telegraph. What's really behind all this? IMF printing billions of dollars in global quantitative easing, issuing a new global currency, a new global super currency. Here's another Reuters headline. UN wants $750 billion green investment. And when you read it, it's actually a tax. Okay, now that's just some of the news here. But here's the big one, and then I'm going to go back through all these. Here's the big one. Just a small window into what criminal liars these individuals are, lock, stock, and barrel. In my film, The Obama Deception, that I've made in the last 3 months, it was done about 3 weeks ago. It was released last week. But the information is that up to date. I show Obama's executive order supposedly shutting down these huge bonuses to bailed out companies. And in there, he says they all can do whatever they want and are immune. So, see, it was advertised as he was slapping them on the wrist, but it was actually the opposite. So we'll come back, get into all this. And now he's been caught red-handed with Senator Dodd. We are back live. Oh, by the way, I'm going to get into the state police around the country being taught by the feds that anybody who has a Ron Paul sticker, anybody that talks bad about the banks is a terrorist. There's been a giant new development on that front. I made some phone calls this weekend and confirmed it. I had the Army watching me up in Dallas at the End the Fed demonstration in November of last year. We were there protesting the private Federal Reserve in Dallas. It was going on at 38 locations. The video of that is in my film, The Obama Deception. And the U.S. Army, violating federal law, was there. It's a felony, but they were there spying on us, and we got the documents from inside the military. Big libertarian group got them as well. They're all posted right now on Infowars.com. That's how serious this is. Remember a week and a half ago there were the horrible shootings in Germany and Alabama? I said they'd all be on Prozac drugs. Of course, it turned out they were, but that's a side issue. They always are. It's on the drug insert. It admits it causes psychopathic behavior. When you wake up on the wrong side of the bed taking the hallucinogenic drug, it's in the class. But